Kids are getting real dumb these days, and I've been trying to figure out why. Is it the schools? Is it the education system? Or is it the parents? No, it's video games. Or should I say modern video games. RPG games that are made today are so easy that I believe that they have become one of the primary factors in child stupidity. When I say easy, I'm not just talking about the difficulty of monsters, I'm mainly talking about the quality of life features. Let me give you an example. In classic CRPGs, if you wanted to compare two pieces of gear, you had to calculate the difference in your head. This one has 10 strength and this one has 6. 10 minus 6 equals 4. But today we have this green and red bullshit, completely removing any need for your brain to do any mental math ever. Some of you might say that we don't need mental math anyways. We have calculators. Well, that's where you're wrong. Do you ever wonder why school was so insistent on teaching kids stuff like algebra, even though we never used it? Well, there is a reason for that. They did that because it would make us smarter. The result was not important, the practice of it was. The practice of math, especially when a person's mind is still developing, increases the overall intelligence. It's like gaining XP from killing monsters even when you don't need the loot. We did not do math to use it, we did it to level up our brains. But many of us, we were bored at school, we were depressed, we didn't know what the meaning of life was or why we even existed. So we skipped classes and we didn't do our homework. Instead, we sat behind our computers and wasted away. But not entirely. The games we played was still keeping our minds engaged. See, the truth is that the reason we hated math in school was not because of math itself, but it was because of how it was taught to us. The teachers were boring and the math books were boring, but CRPGs, they were fun. Knowing that an ability had 30% chance of causing critical hit and 10% chance of inflicting burn, which dealt 10 damage over 2 seconds for 10 seconds, was a lot more fun than apples. In truth, we did not skip class, we upgraded to a better class. Modern RPGs are still providing that to the current and next generation, but I must say that they are not as good as classic RPGs. There are some that still are, but most modern games have been dumbed down by a major amount. And this has definitely had an effect on the generation of children that came after my generation. And I don't even want to talk about the next generations. Now, one of the most influential games that I've played in my life is World of Warcraft. 70% of my 70 IQ comes from this game. We are going to start with the auction house. The auction house in WoW teaches you real business. There's a lot of difference between the real-life stock market and how WoW did it, but the UI and some of the other elements are still the same. The difference is that in real life you can't go and search in the woods and randomly find an Nvidia stock. But the practice of it and the understanding of Black Swan events was still the same. I remember when a new patch or expansion came out, suddenly some of the items went up or down in value. Seeing the reactions of the market was a very interesting thing to observe at a young age. I honestly believe that some portion of my understanding of business today comes from World of Warcraft's trading and auction house system. I'm even willing to make a wild claim that Bitcoin became popular partially because of World of Warcraft. Think about it. WoW gold was so precious that people were willing to pay real money in exchange for this icon of a gold coin. What is Bitcoin? An icon of a gold coin. The idea that you don't need gold in real life and you just need the icon of it was first popularized by WoW. And other MMOs I guess, but mostly WoW. Paying gold farmers real money to receive fake gold icon may have softened people up to do the same with Bitcoin. Usually when you want to do something risky, you need more than one reason to convince yourself to do it. And maybe WoW was one of those reasons. Keep in mind that I'm talking about the early days of Bitcoin, and now that the coin has a lot of value, things are different. Now let's talk about World of Warcraft mounts. Back in vanilla, you needed 20 gold to learn how to ride a mount and 80 gold to buy the mount. You guys have no idea how much of a big deal this was to me. You see, by the time my character got to level 40, I had like 5 golds or something. I sometimes see people who are really bad at money management and I wonder how the hell people be this stupid. And then I realize that they must have never played WoW. Buying a mount in vanilla WoW was like a simulation of buying a car in real life. I vividly remember that my approach to grinding and the way I was trading and selling stuff on the auction house changed after I came to the realization that I'm bad at making money and money management. By the time I had enough gold to buy both the license and the mount, I was already level 60. And the idea of buying a fast mount completely out of the picture. Similar to how Lambos are out of the picture in real life. You might be thinking that I'm joking when I say that modern video games are making kids stupid, but I'm definitely not. Kids spend a lot of time playing video games, and if the video game is dumbed down, the kid will be dumbed down too. I'm very happy that I grew up in the right era of CRPGs, because if I wasn't, I would be as stupid as these kids today. In recent years, I've started playing a lot of older CRPGs, such as Diablo 2, Elder Scrolls 2, Wizardry 8, System Shock 1 and 2, Dungeon Siege, and many more. If you have children, I highly suggest that you let your kids play these games instead of anything else. Not only will they develop better math skills, but they will also learn patience, because these games don't do instant gratification. Also, your children will learn that graphics don't matter. Thank you for watching this video, and stay smart.